synapse rest over the world where you're hanging weightless on the precipice. I'm going out on a limb where the clouds start to fail, where in my heart I'm a stupid grin. Out on a limb, out on a limb, I'm out on a limb. You used to think I was someone special till you knew my name. Open the doors to invade my castle. Don't you feel it strange? I'm going out on a limb where the clouds start to fail, where in my heart like a stupid grin. Out on a limb, out on a limb, out on a limb, out on a limb, out on
Select. Select.
You so fine walking by that you caught my eye. Tryna ride by your side and spend the night. But I'm gone in the zone, so take me home. But when we done having fun, then I'm racing home. 'Cause one night only, you can call me rude 'cause I'm close in the morning. One night only,
Hey everybody, what is going on? My name is Blue, and welcome to the Guild Wars 2 Tournament of Legends. I'm going to be your host for today, and as usual for all big major events, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Syref over here. How you doing today, Syref?
Doing amazing, Blue, and I'm so excited to bring the hype with you today on the first day of the EU Tournament of Legends here on twitch.tv/guildwars2. I'm really excited to be back in the action with you guys. Dude, we've got a crazy day lined up. We've got so many teams. We've had well over 200 attempted entrants into this tournament. Everyone is excited to get underway. We've got tons of stuff to give away today, and for the entire weekend, actually. And Blue, let's go ahead and talk about some of the teams that we've got here today.
So, yep, we have 64 teams lined up, and a lot of the bracket has already been played, guys. We started the tournament actually about 4 hours ago with the round of 64. Pretty much all of the round of 64 has been completed. By the way, shout-outs to our awesome administrative organization that jumped in kind of at the last minute almost and helped us out with this tournament, DPS. So, shout-out to those guys. They did help us out, and they've been running most of the round of 64 and 32 for us, really helping us out in that regard. But again, we did have 64 teams. We are now down to the round of 16, and to go over those 16 teams that have made it thus far, we do have 55 HP Monks, kind of I believe is the crowd favorite to actually take the tournament here this weekend. Also, we have Infamous 5. We also are going to be having I Love Lunch, 5 Ronin, and that'll be the game we'll be going to in just a moment, by the way. Going to be having Read It Backwards, Unit Team, Destructive Influence, My Deck is Bigger Than Yours, Car Crash, Wiggy's Wicked Wang Gang, I Accidentally Went for a Solo Queue, Maiden Meta returning for this tournament, The Civilized Gentleman, Beauties and the Beasts, and then our last round of 16 game is going to be Otis Team versus either Super Quaggin Action Team or Wolves of Edgeton. That game is actually still going on, so we'll have that result in just a little bit.
Absolutely, man. I think that's going to be one of the more interesting results of the night, but also it's worth mentioning that I think there was a poll that Grouch put out earlier this week asking you guys who do you think was going to win. Car Crash, I think, had a lead in that, but yeah, I think they had slightly, if I'm not mistaken. I might be totally wrong. But, you know what? I want to pull it up later, and we'll see exactly what those numbers were. But guys, let's talk about the giveaways we have this weekend. We're going to be giving away some precursors, and what else are the goodies that we have in store, Blue?
I believe we also have 5 llama finishers to give away. Those new llama finishers. It's actually, I believe it's a prize for everyone in the tournament that does make it past the first round as well. So, you guys, if you want to get that, you'll be having a chance to win that throughout this week. I'll be giving away 5 of those throughout the streams today and tomorrow.
That's right. So I think we're going to be we're going to be spreading that out over the entire weekend, guys. So be sure to tune in all the events, both today and tomorrow, and of course next weekend as well for the NA event. Now, this match that we've got coming up here, we have I think it's I Love Lunch versus, if I'm not mistaken, 5 Ronin. These are some teams. I know that 5 Ronin has a little bit of history. They're running a lineup with Dipset Yeezus and Brujo, people who were in formerly Plastic Fantastic, people we would see back in the ESL Weekly Cups. It's been a while since I've casted those. But give us some background on 5 Ronin.
So 5 Ronin, again, they kind of reappeared a few weeks ago in the ESL Weekly Cups. They were a previous team, or at least some of their members went by the name of Plastic Fantastic, but again, they've kind of really showed up again for the ESL Weeklies, and they've been doing pretty good. They're usually making it to the second round, at least, in most of the times I have participated in that, and they're a fairly decent team, obviously, again, as they have made it all the way to this round of 16, and I think they're a pretty formidable opponent for I Love Lunch. There's another team that sort of popped out of the ESL Weeklies kind of nowhere, and I Love Lunch kind of had a surprising turn, too. They went up, I believe it was against cheese mode 1 week, the first week they ever came out, and you know, in terms, their overall fighting skills were kind of lacking at that point. But I've been checking them out a couple times in the EU Team Queue through the Authorized Shoutcaster program, and they've been getting pretty good at that sort of stuff. I mean, they seem to have the rotation game down just out of the gate. The only thing that I ever saw lacking out of them, the first time I saw them play at least, was really the fighting game. But I think that has improved quite a bit since the last time I've seen them play in a tournament.
Well, I'm excited to see the progress that they've made since those ESL tournaments, guys. Let's start going over builds. Let's introduce these players.
Alright, so let's take a look first at I Love Lunch. First of all, taking a look at Bullet has Chainsaw, who is going to be playing a DPS Guardian build. He's running with 2-1-6-1-4 for his trait split, and his equipment he's going to be running with a Greatsword, also using Sigil of Air and Fire on that set. He's going to be using the same sigils on his other set, which will consist of the weapons of a Scepter and a Focus. He'll be using Runes of the Flame Legion, as well as the Berserker Samuel. This build brings out a lot of damage very quickly, so you got to watch out for it. But at the same time, this build, much like a lot of other burst builds, is going to be very squishy, so if you're not watching yourself, you will find yourself on the ground very quickly as well. Kuve is going to be over here playing Elementalist. He is running with the staff at the moment, but that could change out when the game begins. He could also be playing with staff because of the trait split, which I'll take a look at in just a moment. We'll see, however, when the game begins. He's running with the Sigil of Leeching, as well as the Sigil of Battle with Runes of Strength, and a Celestial Amulet with the traits being 00266. Ingenium Odium is going to be playing Hambo. You guys all know it. Some of you hate it, some of you love it. You know, it's that Hambo build. He's running with 00626. He's using Hammer and Longbow, obviously, running with the Sigil of Intelligence and Blood on the Hammer set, as well as the Sigil of Battle and Leeching on the Longbow set. Going to be running with a Soldier's Amulet and Strength Runes as well. Milo Kreitza is going to be playing Guardian for this team, running with a Staff, as well as a Mace and an Offhand Focus, using a Sigil of Renewal and Energy on the Mace Focus set, as well as the same thing over on the Staff set, running with Runes of the Soldier and a Cleric's Amulet, with the traits being a standard altruistic healing Guardian build here, 01661. And then last but not least, Himber's Glass, the Necromancer for this team, will be running with 46004. Now that wraps it up for I Love Lunch's builds. I believe we can go over 5 Ronin's builds in Game 2, but I think everybody in the audience is looking for us to get started with the first game, so let's not waste any more time. I think we should get right to it.
Absolutely, man. Let's get this game started. I have yet to see, actually, I Love Lunch play. This is my first time, I admit, seeing them. But, you know, I'm really excited, having heard the hype coming out of ESL. We're just now checking on the other casters, making sure everything's good to go into this. Predictions on this, Blue. Knowing the sort of playstyle of at least some of these members, pretty much all of them, because 5 Ronin have been around since then, and knowing that you have this potential coming out of I Love Lunch, where do you see this match ending up? At least on Game 1.
This is actually going to be kind of a hard pick, because while we have sort of seen these teams coming out of the rough recently, because of that fact, it's a little bit hard to peg where their strengths and weaknesses are in terms of, you know, these new teams going up against each other. Personally, however, just in the way we've seen the past ESL week goes, I kind of want to give round 1 to 5 Ronin. I think they're just going to perform a little bit better and may take it. But in general, I'm pretty sure these teams will perform at a very even level, so it is kind of a tough call, but I'm going to toss my coins over towards 5 Ronin for the first game. But anyway, guys, we are getting started with the first game. Gates are opening up, so Cyrus, check out the splits.
Let's check out the splits. Worth noting is the stack up for the blue side gave them 50 seconds of swiftness right off the bat, and Obly's trying to do some crossplay, but we will see Himbeer over here trying to get some defensive play off, forcing Obly back up to the mid, where Milo will spot him and head up to the middle point himself. It seems to be a simple split now for the red side, as they are sending Ichendra, their Necromancer, to the top of the mid back there, but he will be a little bit late to the party here as we go to the mid fight. Exorcist coming in, Milo Kreida popping off the Empower already, getting those might stacks off for his team there. There goes this, the symbol of swiftness for the heal as well. And Blue, the mid fight is just now getting underway. I'm beginning to see a little bit of favor for the red side, as they do have their NG going straight over far.
And indeed, you can see Blue Team responding to this as well. You're going to see Bullet as Chainsaw, because we did see Brujo over here trying to go over there and take out Spawner and/or make his way up around the back. Bullet Chainsaw decided to go for mine here as well. Now this 1v1, Bullet may be able to take down the Warrior, however he could also have a bit of trouble. Just in general, Bullet, Bucker Guardians, or not Bucker Guardians, sorry, DPS Guardians versus Hambos seem to be very dependent on the skill of the DPS Guardian in terms of who's going to win that. So we don't really know what's going to happen there just as of yet. But obviously we did see Anabully take control of the Henge. And then back in mid, from what I'm looking at least, it looks like Box does have an advantage. You can see that they're doing a very good job pushing their opponents off the point, and just in general keeping them on the defensive. In fact, they've already almost got Dipset Eases off, which they take that out again, that's already going to eliminate a lot of the support from Red Team in this fight.
That's right. You know, something that I noticed right off the bat here about I Love Launch is that they're very, they work together very well. They're synergized with all of their boon stacking. Look at the amount of boons on that side, man. Just everything, everyone's all working together, holding hands, and spreading the love, you know? On the middle fight, though, they have taken out everyone. That's actually, Exorcist is the only one left now for 5 Ronin. That's not going to be good for them, as they will end up eventually losing this middle point here. But they are up in the point spread, 48-29 blue. They have sent Kube over to the Henge to grab that, and also Chainsaw has grabbed that mine.
Yeah, indeed, Chainsaw did do a very nice job over there in the 1v1. We also saw over there, too, Kube falling back. He'll be taking back control of the Henge in just a moment. But now it's really going to be up to Bullet here. Can he hold on? If he does go down, obviously it's going to reduce their effectiveness here. But they have managed to get Milo right over here. So again, Blue Team will probably very effectively be able to fight over here at the mine. And as well, just looking at that mid-fight there, again, we saw a lot of damage going on. A lot of it, I think, was coming in there. We saw the Elementals very late in the fight pull out the Flame Sword there, coming out from the ultimate of the Elementalist. And I think that kind of turned the tides there and ended the fight very quickly, because we saw a lot of AoE damage coming down from the 5th skill on that summon weapon.
That's right, man. And right now we're in a 3-cap situation. Box is really being dominant right now. They're showing their stuff and coming out of the gate really, really well. They're really forced Red Team here. 5 Ronin all the way back to their base, forcing this home fight. While they have sent a Nobly over to Henge, Kube has managed to deal with this no problem here, as he will be just taking this 1v1 and forcing a Nobly to really retreat before he dies.
And indeed, Annabelle is going to be forced out of here. Kube, again, Elementalist recently getting buffed in the patch, making them very strong fighters indeed. And as you just saw there, very good indeed at taking out the Engineer. And it's going to be forcing him off the point if he doesn't take him out before he gets there. So we do have some contention going on over here in mid, though. Bruto was able to sneak in there, just able to get that decap off, as you saw too, because Himbear game, and they're just a bit too late, so we'll be seeing a decap there. But overall, again, as we're taking a look at the overall scope of the game, Box just absolutely dominating on both the fights and the rotation game here. Red Team really struggling to find a foothold here and trying to make a comeback.
That's right, man. Box up 100 points and more now. They will get the decap on the midpoint here, but it looks like Brujo is having a little bit of trouble dealing with Bokuve and Himbeer Sap Glass. And Nobly also coming in for the support. Healing Turret does go down. He'll pop that off and be just fine here. Now, Bullet has just come off the respawn. It looks like he may cross up to mid to help with that, but I would be surprised to see him cross over to mine, because we will see that Milo has died here, leaving only Ingenium left to sort of fend for that mine point. We will see a refocusing of Blue's efforts onto now defending their home and keeping the middle point.
Yeah, so one of the things I'm seeing here right now is Red Team is trying to split themselves up, and while this would have been a good strategy possibly like 1 to 2 minutes ago, right now it's not what they need, because as you can see here, just opening up the big map for a second, Blue Team is very much spread out themselves. They also just got control of their home points, so I think at the current state of the game, we do need to see 5 Ronin really just grouping up and pushing towards one as a singular unit, whereas the past few minutes they have been sort of pushing as smaller groups. That's just not been going very well for them, because they haven't seemed to be doing very well on those small skirmish fights.
That's right now. Nobly is channeling his inner Steamhawk right now, really pushing for all the time right now. But he will be met up by Ingenio, and Ingenio is going to have something to say about this. He will not get to the point before he gets decapped. The bombs will go off on that dodge there. And in this 1v1, who has the advantage here coming in fresh?
Over here at the Henge, as we take a look at that 1v1, in general, it's actually, again, kind of a tough call because of the fact that the Hambo just has a lot of point pressure, but again, Engineers as well just have some absolutely crazy con damage. But then you take a look at the Warrior, and the Warrior is also very good at dealing with those condies for the most part, depending on, again, how he's actually popping his conditions. I want to take a look, actually, here at Ingenium. He does have, already used his Berserker stance, so he just can't have that, but as we saw there, too, also has that Signet of Stamina decline, so now he's going to be a lot more vulnerable to these condies. So as you take a look at things, I think in its current incantation, we'll probably see the Engineer take it. If not, the Engineer will eventually cap the point anyway, just because of the pressure he's putting off with knockbacks and whatnot.
That's right. Now, if we jump back to mid, though, we will see Tender getting stomped out by Milo. Blue pressure has stayed around the point here, but Bullet has gone down on the blue side staircase. Brujo coming in with a stomp again, and this is going to be sort of the beginning of the end of this fight here, as it really spirals out here. Brujo really forced to come back out of here, and Exorcist is left on the point versus Milo, but here comes Himbeer Sapglass, as well as Dipset East is making this a 2v2 for the mid. And if we jump over to the mine point, Kube almost going gonna get the cap, will not get it as Tender gets onto that point before. Oh no, he gets just forced off that point just for a second there, and that's the difference between having a 2-cap and a 1-cap situation there.
Indeed, and then back over here, we do see a current 2-cap going into the favor of Isle of Lunch. Again, as Isle of Lunch doing an excellent job so far in this game. Currently, their score sitting at a pretty 298 points, whereas their opponent's 5 Ronin is behind them, but with no capture points in their name and 113 points to their overall score.
That's right, man. I'm looking at the henge here. This is where the big, massive fight is going to go down, and it looks like I Love Lunch is in the numbers deficit here, and Genium trying to get off the point. Actually just feared into oblivion there, running away forever. Looks like Anomaly is going to be walking away off this point as well. Milo's actually on the point. Chainsaw is running down Anomaly, trying to make something happen, but Genium will get stomped up by Brujo now, and it's close. They actually have a situation where they might end up with a 3-cap again, as Anomaly actually ends up renewing the point back to full neutral. And this fight, I feel like, it kind of gets the feeling like it just started, but it really is just 2 Bunker Guardians hanging out on the point with like Dipset Yeezus hitting in from the sides.
Pretty much. So we're seeing again at the moment, 5 Ronin is trying to adjust themselves, but I mean, you take a look at Lunch, and this is what I was talking about earlier too, is that the first time we saw Lunch playing a couple weeks back at the first ESL Weekly, they just had a crazy good rotation game, and you're seeing that here right now too, not even in the fact that, actually yes, in this fact too, is that wherever their red team opponents do try to go and initiate, they're almost always out-rotating them and taking the other 2 points away from them. And then as well, when the red team tries to counter-push to these other nodes, they've almost always got the appropriate coverage of those nodes too. They're doing an excellent job of that, and on top of all of that, Lunch seems to be winning a majority of those fights. And again, like I was saying, even when they don't, they've usually always got the other 2 points that they're not fighting on anyway. So at the moment here, 5 Ronin is really just getting outclassed on every front. They need to find something they can win with here, because they just do not have any advantage against their opponents at the moment.
That's right, man. And I think that it's really running away from them with 409 points all out there for the blue team right now, and not a single capture point down for red. I think that it's safe to say now that Box has got 5 Ronin's number on this map. Going into the next map, what do you think we're going to see? We know that we need to see a change in the rotations from 5 Ronin, because they're kind of just getting out-rotated and outplayed in that front. Can they make those changes, though?
It's gonna be tough, because again, you take a look at their overall composition here, they don't have that much mobility, at least not in the way. I mean, you take a look at the blue team, and they don't have too much of it either. They've got an Elementalist there as well, but then on the red team here, they've only got really Annibale, if he's even running with the correct traits. That does appear to be the case, but again, it's going to be a bit of a hard call, but overall, just taking a look at the first game's results here, more than likely, things will probably end up swinging into Lunch's favor there, too. They need to either, A, take an advantage in the fights, which, again, they really were not doing here in the first game, and try to win middle on the next map, and then take it from there, or they're going to have to win through the rotation game, which, again, against Box, I just don't think is going to be a possibility.
Alright, well, we'll have to see what comes up next here, because it looks like this might be the end. The beginning of the end, with only 40 points left to score for Blue, and with Red Team pretty much routed all over the map here. Blue Team may push to end it. We do see Chainsaw is kind of near spawn here, and if he decides to disengage from Brujo, he can engage that as well. Over on Henge, we do see that there's a 1v1 in Genium going up against Dipset Yeezus, and Brujo getting